Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you watched my last video, you probably saw that the last clip got cut out because I tried explaining it very briefly, but basically I was uploading all of the footage onto my computer, and the first two, there was 3 segments basically. The first 2 uploaded just fine, no problem. And then the third one didn't upload with them. And I was like, that's weird. So I tried it again separately. It didn't work. I tried like refreshing my computer, didn't work. I tried a different cord to connect it to my computer and it didn't work. And I even tried like taking out the SD card and directly uploading to my computer from the SD card, and the last like video segment just like will not upload to my computer. But the weird thing is that when the actual file itself is just fine, when I press play on the camera, it'll play and it sounds fine, it looks fine. Like the actual clip, there's nothing wrong with it. And it shows as an option to upload on the computer. So I have no idea what the issue is with that. But I guess we're just gonna have to refilm that part. Here's the weird thing about that. I looked at the video and I was like, okay, what is it that's not uploading here? It was Mikayla talking about these 2 like kind of unnerving experiences she's had, and me talking about a door opening. And those clips just won't upload. So I find that a little bit interesting. So basically, I have Mikayla here again, and she's just going to repeat all of it. So let me stop talking and let's get right into it. So Mikayla had 2 experiences that I feel like were kind of important, just because of like the way that they kind of made her feel were a little different than everything else. As I had mentioned before, everything's been like really like light and airy and nothing heavy, and these 2 were just like a little creepy to her and like a little bit more than just like light and airy. So yeah, with that, I'll just go ahead and let her tell you her experiences.
So one day I came home from school. I was in high school. I was probably like junior, senior year. I don't really know. But I came home from school, nobody was home, and I let my dogs inside with me, and we were just hanging out in the living room. And like in our house, how the living room is,
so you walk in the front door, there's a little bit of a foyer, left and right there's a little bit of a hallway to different parts of the house, and then directly in front of you is the main living room.
Yeah, and the hallway's pretty long, like it literally goes from this end of the house to this end. So anyway, so I was in the living room, and we have a couch, 2 couches in the living room, and the one that I was sitting on is the one that your back is facing the front door, and literally right behind the couch is the really super long hallway. And so I was just sitting there. I was probably like on Instagram, something, like just scrolling through my phone, and I had my dogs laying with me, and it's silent in the house, which is so weird because I never keep the house quiet when I'm by myself because it's like creepy.
Same.
And like this day, just randomly, I didn't like turn on music or the TV or anything, so I was just sitting there in silence, and literally right behind me, like I just hear footsteps like walking from this side of the hallway, literally right behind me down the hallway. The footstep sounds were like so clear, like there's nothing else that it could have been besides footsteps. And my dogs went insane. Like they got up, they were barking. Like I have a husky, so she is a yeller, she likes to yell. And she was like yelling. They were pacing back and forth up and down the hallway, like literally freaking out. And I got so scared. Like it was just so weird. Like every inch of my body had goosebumps. Like I was just so nervous. So I brought my dogs downstairs to my room, and I just locked myself in here and like with the dogs because I was just so scared.
That's so creepy.
And then
like right behind you too. Like, oh, that's my worst fear, when things go behind me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I can hear the footsteps. Like, they were so clear. Like, it was...
No, I believe you. If you
so
watched the
weird.
last video, we were talking about like footsteps in the master bedroom, and like those are so clear and so pronounced, and like I've had footsteps walking like towards the kitchen too, and like
Yeah,
it's so clear.
So this was literally the same night. Like after that had happened, that night I was going to sleep and I had the weirdest dream ever. Like I normally don't really have like nightmares or anything, and like if I have like a bad dream, it's usually like me like falling usually, or like if I watch too much Criminal Minds, then like I'll have dreams about that. But I don't really get nightmares or anything. But this night I had the weirdest dream. I was dreaming that I was watching myself sleep, and like it was like a bird's eye view of me like looking down at my bed, and everything was in black and white, but like even though I was watching myself sleep, I could still feel my body like laying on my bed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was watching myself sleep, and then as I'm watching myself sleep, I can see like an indentation on my bed next to me. Like someone's laying there, but like you can't see them. You just see like the marks on the bed or whatever, you know? But then I also can feel like someone laying next to me.
Ew.
And like it's just that for a while, like I'm just watching myself with something, I don't know. And then I start like feeling like breaths on my like neck and my shoulder, like of someone there, and like that's happening for a while, just like someone breathing on me as I'm watching still from like above. And then all of a sudden, like whoever was laying next to me just whispers my name, and I woke up, and I was literally like, it was like one of those dreams where you wake up and like you want to cry and you're like sweating, and it was just so strange.
Didn't you say you felt like it was kind of like a man?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a man. I don't know how, because like obviously like I didn't see it because it was just like the indentation, but like the presence that I felt was definitely a man. Could have been the man that my like family friend girl saw on Thanksgiving.
Because I don't think that would be the husband who passed away in this house. I don't think that would be him, because like it wasn't like a good vibe, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think he would have good vibes. So that poses some questions, I would say.
Are we gonna talk about what happened after your video now?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So then I finished filming, and we went upstairs to eat dinner because her mom had made dinner, which was super sweet. And so we went upstairs, and so we went to put the dogs outside while we eat, because they like to just like sit at your feet, and it's not a small...
They're beggars.
Yeah, it's not a small kitchen, but they do tend to get in the way. And we're just like trying to all get our food, and all of a sudden the dogs are back in. And was it you and Greg who should I say his name? Well, I'm gonna put his YouTube in.
Yeah.
Why not?
So we have another friend, Greg, who lives here, like a real person. But yeah, so, and wasn't his kids here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of people eating dinner, and that's why it was kind of chaotic, because of like
The kids.
all of the people and all the kids and all the dogs. But yeah, so Greg, he was like, how did the dogs get in? And we were like, I don't know. So we put them back outside and closed the doors again. And then later on, they were just inside again. Like, they just kept coming in. But like, weren't the doors, like, did we like, find the doors open?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was like different doors that were open that had let them in. And we were
Yeah.
like, how did they get in? And what's interesting about that is like, that's not the first time that that's happened. And like, before I filmed, me and Bailey, a few days before, were home. We had gotten home after I got off work or something, and we were the only ones there. And say it was like 4 o'clock or something, and we were like hanging out in the kitchen eating food and everything for like 10-15 minutes. Say we went down at like 4:15. All right, so we were up there for a good amount of time. And basically, to get downstairs and down to our room, you have to pass the living room door. And I passed the living room door and it was closed and locked and everything was fine, as I always leave it because I don't just leave the door open. And we went downstairs, and like at, I want to say like 4:30 or something, her dad gets home, and I come up like probably 10 minutes after that, and I'm just like washing a dish or something, and he was like, oh, by the way, like you left the door open. And I was like, what door? And he was like, the front door. Like when I came through the garage when I came home from work, and I saw that the front door was open, and I was like, no, it wasn't, because I know for a fact that it was closed, not only behind me like when I walked in, but when we walked downstairs, I saw it was closed. I would have noticed if it was open. So like that definitely opened after I was already downstairs, and it was secure for like 30 minutes at that point. So like the dogs kept getting in, whatever. And then
same night as her video.
Yeah, that's the same night right after we filmed. Then that night, as we're sleeping, I'm dead asleep because I have to work the next day.
I don't know what I was doing, honestly. I was probably just like watching TikToks or TV or something. But I had the window open like right next to my bed, and there was a bird outside, and it was like squawking really weird.
So as she's listening to this bird, I'm dead asleep because I have work tomorrow.
Yeah, and so I'm just like quietly listening to this bird, thinking of her video and everything she said, and then literally at 2:58 in the morning, the fire alarm goes off again.
Again, no fire.
No fire. And it's just so loud. It's like the alarm's going off, the lady's telling us there's a fire.
Yeah, it's echoing through the house. At this time, I didn't even get up. I was just like, I know it's not important. I'm not getting up. Like, I've been through this before. But like, how creepy is that? Like the doors opening and stuff, as we were just talking about doors opening. The fire alarm going off as we were just talking about the fire alarm. Mm-hmm. And as she's thinking about all of this, the fire alarm goes off again. Super creepy. It
was so scary because like literally while I was thinking about that, like
imagine that. That's terrifying. We mentioned him earlier, but Greg, who also lives in the downstairs area with us, but on the opposite side, he hunts Bigfoot. Not like aggressively hunts, like just goes out looking for proof of Bigfoot, which I think is super fun. And he has a YouTube channel for it. I'll put it down in the description if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, because he was explaining it to us and it's actually really interesting. It's fun fact. A lot of Bigfoot hunters theorize that Bigfoot isn't like some big animal gorilla thing like everyone thinks, that he's actually like a supernatural being. And so basically what that means is that it's kind of like a ghost with Bigfoot features.
Like that's why you never see him. Mm-hmm. And he's never been spotted because he's like more supernatural.
And the craziest part is that a lot of people who hunt Bigfoot have experienced that he can follow you home. And so Greg said he experienced this at his last house, where he'll follow you home and you'll kind of hear like aggressive banging outside your house, but no one's there. And that's like a common thing that people have experienced. So he's experienced that. And then
so he says that people who have like gone and hunted or like looked for Bigfoot, that Bigfoot would come follow them home, and they've like set up cameras inside their house. Like Greg hasn't, but people have set up cameras inside their house and like seen things move, or like not really like seen images of Bigfoot, but just like have things happen in their house and like have recordings and like footage of it.
Which is similar to like if you go like ghost hunting, how a ghost can like follow you home. I guess it's kind of the same thing, because their theory is that he's also like a supernatural being, which is crazy. And so he was gone for like a whole weekend Bigfoot hunting, and he came back, and the day he came back, I was at work, but Mikayla was here, and she was like doing a Zoom class for college, and you can kind of explain it to them.
First of all, the door to our room doesn't open. Like,
we're gonna insert a clip of how hard it is to get it to open.
Yeah, like you have to push on this door because like it gets stuck in the door frame thing. And So I was sitting at my desk on Zoom, and literally all of a sudden the door opened, and to open the door you have to push so hard that like if something just like pushed it open, it would most likely like swing in so fast and hard that it would like hit the wall.
We'll show you what we mean right here.
Yeah.
So that's the force you have to use to get it open. Okay, now do it like you're gently opening it halfway to display what happened.
Wait, While I'm in my Zoom class, the door of our room just opened like halfway. Like just by itself randomly. And the cats that are in our room, they just like, they're sleeping and they just woke up and just like looked outside. And the cats like to just run out of the door. Like if it's open, they just love to leave.
So the fact that they like, instead of jumping up to like go run out like they usually do, they just stared at it.
Yeah.
I found that part kind of creepy. Anyone who usually would comment like, oh, it was a breeze or the AC or whatever.
It's
literally
not
impossible. Impossible. Sometimes kids can't even get it open.
Yeah. And I was talking to Greg about it, and then he was telling me, well, like, I was gone this weekend, like, with my friend, like, looking for Bigfoot. And, like, then he started telling me, like, the theory of, like, the supernatural stuff and, like, how Bigfoot follows you home. And I was like, Greg,
thanks.
Bigfoot is, like, freaking me out right now.
And so now we're kind of thinking, like, what if the third spirit that's in the house is Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Because Bigfoot is like a spirit. It's not like some big animal.
And
That's
when I
interesting.
saw the psychic in San Diego, Greg was living here.
The last thing that's happened pretty recently, she makes swimsuits. She has a swimsuit brand. I'll put it down in the description below if you guys want to get some. But like she hand makes these swimsuits, super pretty. And she has like a table set up a lot of the times where she has her sewing machine and all her fabrics and everything. And she was specifically working on a pink swimsuit. And basically we were like running around doing stuff, and we came back that night. And what was it that you saw?
So I came home, and like, you know how a sewing machine works, how there's like the needle and then like that platform thingy where you put the fabric to sew it? Like a random piece of white fabric that I wasn't even using that day, like at all, was just like placed under there, like ready to sew. And like I didn't put it there because I was working on a pink bikini that day, so like it was not me. And I was like, Haley, did you do this? And she's like, I don't touch your sewing stuff.
Honestly, I forget that the sewing machine's even there, to be honest. And so, and the fact that it wasn't just like thrown on, it's like it was perfectly placed, like as if you're about to sew it, was so odd.
It was weird.
But basically, that's about everything that's happened recently. I will definitely keep you guys updated if anything else happens. I just want to accentuate that this video, I'm doing it with all good intentions. I mean nothing but respect to the 3 spirits in the house, and I still only feel really good energy, so we will be keeping it that way. All right, guys, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you could, I would be very, very thankful if you would subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, so please, please, please subscribe. And tell me what you guys think of this. Like, do you think that we're right about the 3rd spirit? Like,
do you think it's Bigfoot?
Do you think that that first story she said about that dream, do you think that that's something else? I don't know. Go ahead and comment down below, and I will,
Never mind.
And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!